at large. And it has been discovered that the problem is more pronounced in CRR, both north and south, than in most parts of the country. This time around, the strategy we want to use is to encourage women to form groups which will enable them to come together and engage in production activities such as vegetable gardening, and the vegetables thus produced would be sold in markets, and in markets so that they would have to determine the prices for themselves and not the prices being determined by somebody else.
Ismaila Jaju of Concern Universal disclosed that the project for the promotion of women's equitable access to resources through marketing federations targets 20,000 people, with 45,000 others expected to benefit indirectly. He explained that the new project will help to ensure that women, who constitute 50% of our population and 70% of the labor force, are involved in decision-making at district tribunals, whilst at the same time ease the challenges they face in marketing their produce.
Our role in this project is project management. That entails reporting, donor liaison, and making sure that the project is going in the right direction.
The project is bankrolled by the EU's thematic program, Non-State Actors and Local Authorities in Development, following an open call for proposals in the Gambia.
It's a very good project design. When we assessed it, following the call for proposals, it was considered as being one of the better ones. And it falls within the remit of what the European Union is trying to do in the Gambia. We have a strong mandate to promote the rights of women. We have a particular focus on agriculture because the government's page, the multi-annual development strategy, does prioritise agriculture as an area for particular attention. So in fact the two fall quite well together. We're promoting women whilst at the same time pushing for agriculture as a, if you like, economic driver for growth and employment.
The Deputy Governor of the CRR, Governor Omar Khan himself, and the Vice President of the Gambia Women's Federation, Fatoumata Traoré, all applauded the project for the promotion of women's equity of access to resources through marketing federations, saying the move is in line with government's development aspirations. They reiterated their readiness to work hand in glove with the project towards the realization of the goals of the $12.6 million C project. Famara Fofana, Grts.
One is still uncertain while the other is being decided. When we come back, we look at how Malawi is coping the unfinished presidential election results, while Egyptians go to the polls to decide who will lead the country. Back. After 3 years of political turmoil, with massive protests and thousands killed in clashes and attacks, Egyptians go to the poll this morning to elect a new leader. This comes almost a year after the president, or after a last president, Mohamed Morsi, was forced from office by the military-backed takeover last July. The elections are being held amid tight security. CFI reports former military chief Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is expected to win the race.
Polls on Monday to choose a new president in the country's second freely held election. Ex-Army Chief Abdel al-Sisi is expected to easily win and crush his only rival, leftist leader Hamdine Sabahi. The voting will be carried out over 2 days. Sisi is running on a platform of saving the nation after 3 years of turmoil with massive protest and thousands killed in clashes and attacks. Sisi is now riding a wave of popularity following his ousting of President Mohamed Morsi last July.
I'm going to vote for General Sisi because he is courageously working for a better Egypt. He has a vision for the future. He's capable of making decisions.
The presidential election is being carried out amid high security. In the name of fighting terrorism, the Egyptian authorities have arrested 18,000 people in the last 10 months. Most of those were supporters of ousted President Mohamed Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood.
Today, Egyptians are coming out to write their history and choose their future.
Egypt's #1 industry is tourism, but it has virtually come to a halt, and the next president will face a struggling economy. For now, the country is surviving on financial support from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates.
Confusion and long wait continues as election results in Malawi remains inconclusive. President Joyce Banda declares Malawi elections null and void. Banda earlier on Saturday ordered the cancellation of the elections, citing fraud and rampant irregularities, a decision that triggered protests and was challenged by the National Electoral Authority and the opposition. The High Court in Malawi rejects the president's call to nullify the election. CFI reports Malawi Electoral Commission suspended the contest elections announcement and ordered a recount of the votes.
The image of President Joyce Banda has been tarnished by the latest crisis in Malawi. On Saturday, the head of state wanted to cancel the presidential and legislative elections held on May 20th. She said the Constitution allows her to do so. Banda wanted to cancel the elections after evidence of irregularities was found. She also knew that preliminary results showed she would lose the elections to her rival. But just hours after her announcement canceling the elections, Malawi's High Court issued an injunction preventing it.
Process of tallying the results is built from the counting that was conducted at the polling centers by presiding officers, that was witnessed by political party and civil society monitors, as well as international and national observers.
Half the votes were counted by hand because the computerized voter counting system collapsed. Banda alleged that people had voted multiple times. Measures were taken to secure the ballot boxes. Amid the electoral confusion, there are fears of political violence. The UN and EU called for calm.
The Electoral Commission is a constitutionally established body, and you are interfering with a body which is created by law, which is supposed to be independent, and you cannot do that.
On Monday, the Electoral Commission admitted finding evidence of irregularities, but efforts to stage a recount have been blocked by a court order at the request of opposition leader Peter Mutharika. Fierce legal wrangling has raised the prospect of a protracted constitutional crisis. The election imbroglio is unlikely to help Malawi's dire economic problems.
We now take a second break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and before we take leave of you, a quick reminder of the day's top stories. The First Lady of Senegal, Mariam Sall, paid a courtesy call on her counterpart, Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh, after the opening of the Women Advancement Forum on Monday morning. Top government officials, friends and well-wishers have been celebrating with President Jammeh at the Coco Ocean Hotel on the night the Gambian leader turned 49 years. Egypt's military strongman turned civilian leader Abdul al-Fattah al-Sisi looks set to win Monday's presidential election amid tight security at polling stations. And for how long will Malawi wait before the irregularities in the country's presidential elections are resolved? Well, that was all in this edition of the News at 10. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Have a pleasant programs from Grts. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please rise to recognize the presence of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia.